this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can start Amazon FBA in 2025. No bullshit approach, just straight what you need to do, how to get there. I started this business 2 years ago with $2,000 in my name at the age of 17 years old, and now I have a 5,000 square foot warehouse. I have multiple employees, and this is my full-time gig now. I dropped out of college, bought my dream car. It's not a get rich quick, fast kind of scheme or anything. It definitely takes time, and you're not going to make 10K your first month doing this. Amazon FBA is a very heavily capital-based business, so if you're starting with less capital, it is going to take you more time to make money. I started this business with $2,000, but there is strategies to help scale that number much faster and be able to hit those 20, 30, 50K months without having a whole lot of money. If you're new here, what Amazon FBA is pretty much we just resell brand name products on Amazon's marketplace. Let's say this for an example. Let's say we're buying this for $20 on Amazon, it's selling for $49.99. What we would do is then we send it to Amazon, we ship out a pallet like this, or we can just ship in a UPS box, ship it to UPS, and then Amazon's actually going to receive these items. And from there, Amazon's going to ship out our order, handle customer service, handle pretty much everything. So our main job is just to find profitable products we can send in every single month to keep on stacking profits. There is different business models whenever it comes to Amazon FBA. There's retail arbitrage, which is probably my least favorite business model. I really never have tried it or done it. It's not something that interests me. What retail arbitrage is pretty much where you're walking around or grocery stores, discounted stores like TJ Maxx, Ollie's, grocery outlet, just retail stores like that. And you're using the Seller Amp app and you're actually scanning each individual product to see if you can get it for a cheap enough price to turn around and sell on Amazon. This is a good way to get your feet wet and kind of understand how Amazon works, but it's not really scalable and it's not something that I would ever want to do as a full-time job. And like I said, it's just not scalable. You might be able to make an extra 3 to 4K a month with it, but if you want to get to those like 5-figure months, multi-5 figures, that's not really going to cut it. The next business model is called online arbitrage. Online arbitrage is very scalable. You're pretty much doing everything from your computer. You're still shopping from retail stores, but you're doing everything online. So let's say we're buying products from Walmart, Target, Kohl's, Vitacost. We're finding products that we can buy for a cheaper price and use discounted gift cards, coupon codes, or maybe the price is just cheap enough as it is, just turn it around and resell on Amazon for a profit. Online arbitrage is probably the most beginner friendly, and for anybody that's wanting to get into Amazon, this would be the kind of the main business model I would point you in the direction to, just because it's so easy to scale. And I mean, you can honestly find profitable products within your first couple of days doing it, just using Seller Amp and Keepa, which is only going to cost you $40 a month total. So your startup cost for this business is very, very low compared to some other business models. And the best thing about Amazon is we don't create our own product. We're not running a single ad. We're not hiring affiliates. All we're doing is just reselling other people's brands that we can find for a cheaper price and just sell for a profit. The next business model that I do like a lot, and you can see behind me, is wholesale. What wholesale is we're actually talking to these distributors and wholesale suppliers where we can buy these products in bulk and then turn around and sell them for a profit. Let's say I have tampons behind me. Let's say I'm just buying them for $4.25. On Amazon, they're selling for $13.99. After fees and everything, I ship these, I might be making $2 per unit, which may not sound like a lot, but whenever you sell 500 tampons a month, that's an extra $1,000 just off of one product or one brand. So once you start venturing off into wholesale, and you can do OA, I do OA and wholesale. Let's say you have 10 products that are making you $500 a month. That's an extra 5K every single month in just net profit. And then obviously that's just the bottom of the iceberg. There's levels to it. You can find hundreds of different brands that make you $100 a month, and then you're at 10K a month. You can find hundreds of different brands that make you $500, you're at 50K a month. You know what I'm saying? I don't think my math is right there, but you get the point. The next is called brand direct or brand exclusive. What this is pretty much where you're reaching out to brands that are either newer to Amazon or already established and providing them value. Let's say they have 50 different sellers in their listing. They're selling 500 times a month, and you can pretty much go up to these brands, show them a Smart Scout review, show them why their listing isn't doing 1,000 times a month. Maybe they don't have A+ content, maybe they're not running PPC, or maybe there's just all the sellers are kind of just throwing off the listing. And so what you can do is actually pitch these brands to be an exclusive seller. Let's think of a small brand. Let's just say Gatorade, for example. Like, we can pretty much outreach to a small brand, Gatorade. We're going to outreach to them and be like, hey, look, you have 50 sellers that are on your listing. You have no idea where these guys are getting it from. They're not at your MAP, which is a minimum allowed pricing. Let's say Gatorade on every other website selling for $30, but for some reason, Jimmy Joe selling fake Gatorade, and he's bringing the listing down all the way to $20. You can kind of bring this up to the brand like, look, you have no idea where these guys are getting it from. They're selling it for way below the price that you could be selling it for. What if I came into your business and took care of all of these third-party sellers, kicked them off the listing, started running A+ content, PPC, pretty much just provide them as much value as possible so you can actually work with these brands and be the only seller to sell these brands. So then you're pretty much running a brand for them, kind of like an agency model, but you're still kind of like a reseller. You may run the ads for them. Sometimes you're just reselling it and collecting the profits. And I've even seen where people take a rev share. They're not spending any of their own money and they're just collecting 15 to 20% of the profits because they're running pretty much the whole Amazon organization and everything for them. That is one of my favorite business models I've been getting more into, but it's definitely not very beginner friendly. friendly, I'd start with online arbitrage and wholesale, then work your way there. The next, the kingpin, is private label. Private label is very expensive to start. You probably need at least 10 to 20K to even dip your feet into private label. Private label is you're building your own brand. You may be getting stuff from Alibaba, China, or just building your own supplement company. It's very expensive and you really have no idea if it's actually gonna work out for you. It is a good long-term play, but if you're just starting and you only have $5,000, private label is the last thing you want to try because you're almost guaranteed to lose money with that. So now diving deeper into online arbitrage. Online arbitrage is a very good business. It is pretty much the minimum ROI that we're going to look for is 30% ROI. So let's say we're spending 10K a month on inventory. We at least want to profit $3,000 off that inventory, which probably doesn't sound like a lot, but that's our minimum ROI. If you spend 10K to make 3K, think about if you're investing in stocks. You're not seeing that kind of return month over month ever in your life. Let's say we get lucky. We find like 60% ROI leads and we spend 10K. We're then making 6K off 10K, almost doubling our money, getting kind of close to there. And so once you have capital, it's very easy to scale to those bigger numbers where you can see more money coming in every single month. Another good thing about online arbitrage that you can do with retail arbitrage is outsource everything. I have a Filipino employee that works for $4 an hour that pretty much runs my whole business. She reprices my inventory. She's finding me profitable products every single day. And so if she brings me 8 to 10 leads a day, and let's say each lead, let's just say $50. Each lead makes me $50 a month. She's making me $500 in profit every single day after I sell through these items, and that's on the lower side. Sometimes she finds items that can make me an extra $1,000 to $2,000. So online arbitrage is a great place to get started, get your feet wet, understand how SellerAmp and Keepa work, which is pretty much the profit calculators, all the data that you're actually going to need to be able to see, to be able to know if you're making a good or a bad buy. If you don't know how to use either of these, check out my other videos. I have plenty of videos showing you exactly how to use these. Then going deeper into wholesale. Wholesale is a great business model and it can be very replenishable, meaning that you can buy the same products every single month and it's kind of guaranteeing you the same amount of profit every single month. And obviously you want to expand your catalog to make you even more money. With online arbitrage, it is kind of like a hamster wheel. You're always kind of on the look for new products every single month. It is great. Don't get me wrong. There's always plenty of profitable products, but you are kind of on that hamster wheel, just trying to find out what the next profitable product is and catching it early enough to make as much money as humanly possible. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be credit cards. So let's say you don't have a whole lot of capital to get started with this business model. What we try to do after we understand how the business model works and make sure we're actually making money is using 0% APR credit cards. What is 0% APR credit card? Is a credit card that you get and you pay 0 interest on for 12 months. So let's say we get accepted for a $50,000 0% interest credit card. We know what we're doing. We have plenty of profitable products to spend. Obviously, you don't have to spend the full 50K whenever you're first starting. Let's just say we use 10K of that on profitable inventory. If you only have 2K in your bank and you're using 10K of the bank's money, not only are you getting cash back points to travel for free and everything along those lines, you're getting an extra 10K in spending power to make you even more money that you wouldn't be able to do without these credit cards. So if you're watching this and you don't even have your first credit card set up, go ahead and get your first credit card. It doesn't need to be a business credit card. Just literally get a personal credit card and start building that credit. So whenever you are at that point in your business, whenever you're looking to scale, you have plenty of credit history, a good credit score to actually get accepted for these high limit credit cards. The total startup cost to start Amazon FBA is going to be, if you're doing online arbitrage and retail arbitrage or wholesale, in supplies, you're going to spend around $60 to $80 for a thermal printer, labels, everything along those lines. And then for softwares, you're going to pay for a professional Amazon seller plan. It's going to be $40 a month, which you have to get the professional plan to win buy box. If not, you're going to pay $1 per sell. And trust me, if you watch my YouTube videos and you know what you're doing, you're going to get a lot more than 40 sales per month on your Amazon store. And then the next thing is be SellerAmp, which is $20 a month. Like I said, that's kind of the profit calculator, and it's going to show you pretty much everything you need to know to make an actual good buy. And then Keepa is going to literally save your business. It shows you the year long, like the whole chart of how the product's done since its whole lifetime being on Amazon. So you can see if the product's just on an uptrend. If it's just selling for a profit now, it's probably going to tank. You can see how many sellers are getting on and off the listing, see the buy box share. If one seller has 99% of the buy box share and you buy 1,000 units, you're cooked. You have no idea how many units you're actually going to sell because you're probably not going to steal 50% of buy box from somebody that already has 99% of buy box. But Amazon may seem scary whenever you're first getting started, but trust me when I tell you, this is probably the most simple business model I've ever tried or done. Literally all you're doing is running kind of like a target on your own website. You're finding a product for low, selling it for a profit, not running any ads. You just have customers coming onto Amazon's marketplace every single day to purchase and buy these products, and then Amazon ships everything out and all we do is collect the paycheck. If you're interested in learning how to use these softwares, go ahead and click on my YouTube video. I have a free course showing you exactly how to use everything that I've talked about. And if you're interested in working with me one-on-one inside of my mentorship where I help scale your business to over $10,000 a month, and go ahead and apply to work with me down below. I have an account link down below and I can see if I can help you and boost your business. But if anyone has any questions, drop them in the comments. That's going to be it for this video. And that is pretty much how Amazon FBA works and everything along those lines in the business models within Amazon FBA. See you on the next one. Peace.